Hello, ladies. I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Shue, Amazon bestselling author, speaker, and transformational coach for women. And I'm so excited to share with you. This has been one of my favorite months ever for our community because I just keep on getting more and more texts and posts on Facebook and posts on Instagram and phone calls about women who are living out their dreams. They have been single, they're finding love, and I just can't wait to share some of these stories with you today. So I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Shue, Amazon bestselling author, speaker, and transformational coach for women, and you are listening to our Transformational Tuesday. So I want to, not only I'm going to review some stories, because I think stories are so telling, but I'm also going to share with you the 3 keys that I believe make all the difference in finding love and really living out your dreams. So we are going to start today with a dear woman named Sheila. And when Sheila started working with me, I can remember she had pretty much given up hope. And she had had a lot of challenges. And instead of reading or sharing with you in my own words, I'm actually going to read to you what she recently shared with our community. She said, this is a little backstory. I've been really single most of my life and just honestly had bad luck in the love department. In my 20s, I was living with a guy for 4.5 years, but he wound up marrying the girl after me. Can you imagine? So I spent years lost in trying to figure out my life and how to survive my challenges. She then went on to fall in love with a guy and moved to Colorado. When she got to Colorado with a new job, she 2 years later lost her job. And since then, she said, my life has been full of ups and downs, but mostly downs. You might be able to relate. Maybe you've lost a job, you have fallen in love, fallen out of love, you're feeling all alone. She says, I got my job back 3 years later, and that company convinced me to get a double master's degree. Yeah, back to being married to school. However, during that time, she suffered a lot of loss in her family. She lost her mother, her grandmother, her grandfather, and her best friend was moving in with her boyfriend. She said, I did everything for the wedding and baby shower, but I also bought my own home. I'd never lived alone and was finishing college. So dating was far and few in between the jerk after and the, what did she say? With jerk after jerk in my path. So ladies, can you relate? You know, you start dating again and there's just a lot going on in your life and you find yourself dating jerk after jerk. So it's kind of like, what's the point? Why date? You're ready to give up. So you could see she was really ready to give up. It was her 40th birthday. She lost a job again and lost 3 more family members. She was out of work for 2.5 years. Between layoffs, her health was failing. She was so stressed. And what she did on her 41st birthday, she says, my back was so bad I couldn't do anything. It was in the fight for my life. So health challenges. And we see this, you know, when there's so many challenges in our lives and so much stress, sometimes our health suffers. And so many women have these common challenges before they find a coach or begin working with someone. And then she goes on to share, but just before that happened, she started volunteering for Habitat for Humanity. She decided to get her health back on track. And then this is where I come into the story. 4 years ago, she was diagnosed, and it took her a full year to reach out for help. She started getting local support in the local community, and she met me. That's when I met Sheila. And right around that same time, she said she got a new job and an amazing boss. She got into hiking and a few social groups. She expanded her circle because she had isolated herself for so long. And she said, she also got a major, massive raise. So things are starting to climb up. So in early 2018, she took my self-love course, and that's when things really started shifting. After kind of some up and down roller coasters, she bought herself a ring and married herself. This is one of the things we do in that course. I also, in working with women one-on-one, this is part of the journey, and there's a whole process, specific process around that. But she also shared that she was just so ready to move on and to find love. And then 19 days after this decision on a dating app, she met Steve. And, you know, and it was, she says, we talked for 2 weeks before meeting, which is great. If you are out there dating, you know, I love and encourage women, take it slow down. He grabbed her hand and held it for a bit when they finally met. And she said, great, another guy that probably will never speak to him again, even though they had spent several hours talking. So a few days after the first date, my cat became very ill. So again, we're seeing this roller coaster ride of like, oh, don't you want to give up? So many of you women have had these challenges. And she disclosed her condition to this man, and he got tested, and here we are now, 14 months later. They've been dating. He moved in with me back in January, and he is now her fiance. She said, and she is planning her very first wedding, getting ready to turn 50. And so excited for her. We're just so thrilled for her. She also, you know, has been in this community receiving support, but to go back to really just recently, I'd gotten a text from her right after the proposal. So I love the proposal. We all love proposal stories. So listen to this, ladies. 2 weeks ago, while on vacation, I want you to visualize with me and see if you can imagine yourself in this position, because so many of you want marriage. And so what I'm going to start training you to do today is plant yourself in the future of visualizing your heart's desire. So imagine yourself in this scenario. 2 weeks while on vacation in Uray with my boyfriend for 14 months. He took a break in a log enjoying the view, and he dropped to his knees and pulled out the ring box and started crying. He was so emotional. He hardly could ask me. But he got through it, and it was amazing right after, while taking pictures. To remember that moment, I looked up, and the mountain had a perfect heart-shaped patch of snow. Talk about fate. She said, I'm still reeling from it all and telling everyone it's been a very emotional, been very emotional in a good way. So I just wanted to share with you, you know, here is a woman who has had so many challenges, and I have no idea where you are, hello Arnie, where you are in your journey, but it can be challenging. I can remember my own journey. It was really challenging. So here are the 3 tips. You know, what makes the difference between women and men, for that matter, who are able to discover love and discover partnership and live their life out. So I'm going to give you tip 1, and then I'm also going to tell you some other things of women that we're going to go through all 3. Women in the community have shared with me recently, because we have had other engagements. Number 1, don't live life through the lens of, can you see this? A rear view mirror. Sheila is a great example of this, because if she had focused all of her energy to the past and all the challenges, she would be probably getting ready for a 50th birthday alone, thinking that no one would love her, and that it was a done deal. It would be a done deal. So she decided, you remember that defining moment in her story where she said she was just done? She married herself and she was done and she was ready to find love. So sometimes it takes that just decision, like, I'm gonna do it. All right? So don't allow your past, don't bring that past into your present, which will directly affect your future. So that's number one. The women who are successful no longer live through their life looking at their rear view mirror. Check that out. Their past. You got to move through and let go of your past. Okay? Another story, real fast. This one's a real fast one. Is so within the past couple weeks, we heard about, hello, Kimberly. We heard about Sheila. We also, if you check your email and you're on my email list, you're going to see we also had Krista share with her man down on one knee. And she said, you know, never give up hope. What did she say? Let's see if we can, her story. And this one's a short one. Can I get to it? Let's see here. Anyway, it's not popping up right away for whatever reason, and that's okay. So anyway, I just remember in the post she said, you know, never give up hope, and it was a total surprise. And she hadn't dated this man for very long either. And then we have a gal, Katie. Katie had worked with me personally, and I can remember when I started working with her, she was a school teacher, and she just thought, you know, life, you know, that no one would ever love her except her. And if it hadn't happened yet, it wasn't going to happen. She was in her 30s, very successful woman, very strong woman, very bright. I mean, she had so many things going for her. And when she started work with me, the area that did not work for her, or that she was so challenged by, was she had no confidence in dating. She had given up on dating. So Katie and I started working together, and you know, it took some time. I'm not gonna lie, this stuff takes time, because the first thing she needed to do is really fall in love with herself again. That's one of the first strategies that we work with when I work with women one-on-one, is that self-love. But anyway, just this past week, I saw on Facebook, there was one of those, what are they called, drones, and it was a drone of she's been dating this guy. They're totally in love. They bought a van, and for the next year, she decided she's going to just travel. She's going to travel the country. The last pics I saw, I think they were in Alaska. This was a dream of her and this guy that she was dating. And, you know, she not only found love, but she is living her dreams. I also received a text this past week for one of my clients, one of my one-on-one clients, who was pregnant, and she had to cancel her appointment because she just had a baby. So we have a new baby within our community. So let me move on to number 2. What really makes the difference between women that are living their life fully and falling in love and finding partnership and just loving life? What's the second distinction? The second distinction, I just grabbed this on my walk today. Can you ladies see this? Isn't it wild? It is a sunflower, but what do you notice about it? The petals, half of them are closed off. Hello, Rose Amy. So glad to have you. Oh, Sheila joined. Woohoo! All right. So anyway, as I said, what you'll notice is the petals are half closed. And I want to use this for a metaphor for dating. There needs to be openness. Like, again, first, don't live life through the rearview mirror when it comes to dating and love and partnership. So if you've already decided that there's no chance, then you're dating like this. You're closed. You're at least halfway closed, or not totally closed. It requires an openness for something different. Can you imagine showing up on a date and you're just so closed off that your date doesn't even, hello, Alexana, like your date doesn't even get an essence of all of your beauty and grace. And let's face it, when you're dating, you can be kind of nervous. I can remember I used to be nervous. But to do this and to not show your beauty and your grace and all that you have to offer, Ladies, we got to stop dating like this. Okay? So a lot of the work that I do and work with women is helping them to open themselves up, to trust again, you know, and to open themselves up to that dream that they maybe had since they were a little girl, the dream of partnership, the dream of love, and someone that they could really lean into, that they could connect to, that they would have a great conversation with. So you might have some work to do. In fact, most people do need some work in the department of relationships and self-love. So my second tip is, if you find yourself dating like this, halfway closed up, you're not really giving yourself or your potential date even a chance. So that's number 2. And then finally, number 3. Number 3 is get support. You know, if you've noticed that you have had challenges in the relationship or dating department, then it's time to receive support. It doesn't need to be a journey that you take all alone. And so I highly recommend you get a life coach for dating and relationships. You know, maybe there are some things in your past that need to be healed. Maybe you do have a condition that makes it challenging for you, or maybe there is sexual abuse in your past, or maybe healthy relationships have never been modeled to you. Maybe you have a history of dating narcissists. I don't know what your past is, but if you're noticing similar patternings over and over again, and you've read all the self-help books, and maybe you've even worked with a therapist, or maybe even worked with a life coach, I don't know, but if it hasn't worked, then it's not the right person. So I'm gonna totally encourage you to take action today and get support. So of course, I would love to work with you. My specialty is working with single successful women. They're often very confident women, but in the area of relationships, you know, it doesn't go well for them. I mean, maybe some women, you know, have been widows. I actually just got a text today from a gal who I worked with one-on-one, and I was so excited to find out that she found a guy that she is falling in love with, and she shared that he wanted to be exclusive, and he asked her to be exclusive. So life really can be all that you desire it to be. And if you're not liking your life in the area of relationships and dating, get support. Get support. And so one of the ways that I can support you is I'm offering an Irresistible You complimentary coaching session with me. This is only for women who are committed to making that change, like Sheila was. Like, remember the story? Sheila was committed. She was ready for love. And you don't have to know how to. If you knew how to, it probably would have already happened. So I encourage you to book a complimentary session with me, and we will help you to drop the past, heal from the past. We are going to help you to be open for a new love life. And then I will support you step by step, day by day, week by week, month by month, to get these outcomes that all of these other women are having. Just to share, I have another woman, Rosina, who recently shared. I work with her one-on-one, and when I started working with her, she was just totally burned out, incredibly passionate about her work, but she too had given up on love, and she hadn't taken a vacation in 15 and a half years. And she had also dated men. She was the giver. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but many women that I work with, they're givers, and they give, and they give so much that at the end of the day, there's nothing left to give. And these women become exhausted, resentful, right? They can sometimes attract narcissists in their lives. And so anyway, there are tools to help you to get that healthy, loving partnership in your life. So allow me to support you on this journey so that you too can have one of these stories. As I said, it's been an amazing month of love and joy. And going back to Rosina, she just she took, I think it was like a long weekend. She bought a camper. She fell in love. So first of all, she fell in love, and she bought a camper. She had never had a camper, and she now is just having an amazing life. She went on Craigslist the other day and bought a used kayak. Like, she's living life. These are the kinds of stories that I get to be a part of, and so you could be that next person. So 1, 2, 3, it's time to leave your past behind and start looking into the future. Let's get you more open. And finally, let's get you support. Signing off, I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Shue, Amazon bestselling author, speaker, and transformational coach for women. Have a great day, and I will put a link to book your session with me in the comments below. And I encourage you to go ahead and book your session with me. Thanks.